Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to the SRL PC Asia Pacific F1 League. We are here for the Spanish Grand Prix and I'm Julian once again for the third round of this season. Unfortunately Lemon isn't here today, so I'm gonna be streaming on my own. So it has its advantages but also disadvantages because I can see less, but I'm gonna try to make the best of it. So let's get into this session. So qualifying is underway and the drivers are loading their setups in to get out on track, and I believe there's a Haas coming out already, so let's see what the times are gonna be for this track. I want to start straight away about the setups and the strategy, should I say. The strategy should be a one-stop. Again, like last week, I'm not sure about the two-stop, but I think the one-stop is gonna be the best strategy for this circuit and this race. Ideally you want to be starting on the softs instead of the super softs or the mediums, and then you want to be pitting around lap 10 to lap 13 to go to the mediums and then run to the end. The super softs, post patch of the tire wear temperatures and all that stuff, the supers are able to run a lot longer than before the patch, but they are still not optimal to run for the one stop. So again, I think most of these drivers are going to look to start on the softs and then do the one stop. So let's see what times these guys can put on the board on their first runs. You can quite clearly see that most of the field is going to do that one stop. Just by looking at the tires they are going out now, most of the field is going out on the medium tires, so they're going to do a few installation laps and then go to the softs with probably 6 minutes to go in the session. And then try to set the fastest time on that soft tire, of course. And for this week, we shouldn't be worried about being confused by who is who, as Russell has put his name back to normal, and Jojo Keefe is not here today, so that's gonna be a lot easier for me now. Of course, last week Russell making a little bit of a joke with his name, having it the same as Jojo Keefe, which made it quite difficult for Lemon and myself to make out who is who, but that shouldn't be an issue today. As Apollo Pepsi is going straight into the pits, he got some wing damage, so he's gonna get some more fuel and his wing repaired and then go out again, probably. And Degree is back to his usual lag for the stream, so hopefully that's not gonna affect the racing on the track. As far as I know, it hasn't for the past 2 races, so it's only down to me being in Europe and these guys being in the Asia Pacific region. I'm just trying to get the chat up and running on my phone. My laptop unfortunately is dead, the charger is broken. So it's gonna be a lot harder for me to read the chat, but I'm gonna try my best to do it. I feel interaction with the viewers is quite important as well. And then we have the first lap time set on the board, a 1 minute 19.3 from Chris on the mediums. I actually think that's quite a decent time, to be fair. I think the past few races, the first 2 races of the season, Chris hasn't really been able to show his pace. I don't actually know how quick he really is, but yeah, looking at it now, that he is actually pretty quick, as Capelé sets the first time on the super softs in a 1 minute 18 range. So yeah, Chris is getting quite close to these guys now. And yeah, from what I've seen from him so far, he's actually doing a really good job now. So yeah, that's good for him. And the real SD with a 1 minute 20.5 as well on the supers. As Dominator comes across the line to start his first lap, I believe, as he invalidated his previous lap. As Bristol now jumps up into P3 as well on the mediums, 1 minute 19.9. It is quite difficult to get these mediums up to temperature for this track. It takes around 2 laps to get them into the working range. Unless you warm them up like really aggressively, then you can get them up to temperature in 1 lap, but that's gonna of course be at the cost of extra tire wear. and you kind of want to minimize that on this track, as the long right-handers on this circuit really kill your front and rear tires. So that's the main reason why these guys will probably want to start on the softs instead of the supers, as I explained earlier, to do that one stop. And it is quite tricky on setup as well. It is pretty challenging to run 10 ballast, but it is quite a lot quicker over the course of an entire qualifying and first stint race session. But then on the mediums, in the end of the race, you are really gonna struggle with tire wear. So it's kind of a compromise you have to make. Are you gonna go with 9 ballast and be more consistent over the entire race, or are you gonna go with 10 ballast and be a lot quicker throughout the entire race, except the final 6-7 laps maybe? So as we have a migrating host now, I think Pencil is the host for the lobby. So yeah, not quite sure what's gonna happen now. Normally on the previous game, F1 2017, you would have to restart the lobby, but thankfully on this game that is, well, not entirely fixed, but it is fixed for the biggest part. So hopefully we don't have to restart and can just continue without any problems. And whoever the lobby host actually is, which I think it is Pencil, then hopefully that person can join the lobby back as soon as possible. As still only 5 people worth of time so far, after 7 minutes in this qualifying session. And there we go, Pencil with a 1 minute 19.0 as well. So it probably wasn't him that disconnected. I was actually looking at the stream for a second, so I couldn't see who rejoined the lobby. Might be Nimble, as he just joined as well. So maybe that is the lobby host. And there we go, finally some more people are getting their lap times in. So we are starting to get a little bit of an image of who is going to be where in the end of the session. I think Pencil is again going to have a really good shot at pole position. Rain is going to definitely be a contender as well. He won the last race, I believe, in the Force India and got on the podium in round 1 as well, after a collision with his teammate. So yeah, I think these two are going to be the quickest drivers today, or tonight for the Asia Pacific guys. I'm just gonna say today, as I'm in Europe. So yeah. But we may see a surprise. In round 2, Combined YouTuber almost got the pole position. It just got beaten in the final minute of qualifying, unfortunately for him. So it's gonna be quite interesting what he can do. But again, I think the top 2 is gonna be Rain and Pencil. As Pencil again improves to a 1 minute 17.9. 7/10 clear of Capelace now. And Capelace is already on his outlap for the softs. And I think BRL Torpedo jumped up the timing screens as well, up into P4 now. And I've just seen on Twitter, in another Discord server, that Paul Gill from Codemasters has tweeted something out at 10 AM, so 3 hours ago. Today feels like a good day to reveal some pretty cool news. So, I mean, most people will already have bells wrinkling and think that's going to be F1 2019, which I think it is as well. So, maybe we are going to get some news pretty soon. I'm going to hope that it's actually in the stream, so I can put it out in the stream as well, of what it is. But for now, that's not really relevant. I just wanted to say that. And combined YouTuber wants to know if he's lagging, so let's look at him when he's out on track in a minute. Hello, Tom Yum. Tom Yum, of course, bringing the final few races of last season for Asia Pacific, the first season of those guys. This is their second season, of course, now. F1 2019 Legends Edition, Senna vs Prost confirmed, plus F2 and 2010 F1 cars. Okay, that's pretty cool. As Nimble is now up into P3 as well. And Apollo Pepsi and the Real SD improving on their times. And now we have 4 people without a time yet. And the 2 Force Indias are 2 of those. And then we got Kaisa as well in P13 and Dominator. But I just want to jump back to the strategies. I wouldn't be surprised if someone outside the top 10 goes for just a gamble on the super softs. Because fresh tires do give you quite a lot of an advantage. Not only on tire wear but also tire temperatures. So maybe if someone is outside of the top 10, he's gonna have a go on the supers. And it might actually work out as well. So I'm gonna see if that's something someone is gonna consider. What is 3 days early if you pre-order the Legends Edition? That you get to play the game 3 days earlier? Or yeah, that could be true, Ari. That he's gonna try to do the mediums. Of course, if you get enough temperature into those tires, the mediums aren't actually that slow compared to the softs. So let's see what he's actually gonna do. He is out on his hot lap on mediums now. Not taking as much curb into turn 1 as I expected him to do. And he's not getting through these corners quickly, and he probably has backed out of his lap. You get to play the game 3 days early. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna pre-order it soon then, if I can. Via Steam. But let's get focused into those hot laps instead of F1 2019. Because this is probably more relevant and important for us now. Pencils in the pits. Capolace is, I think, gonna start a next lap. No, he's not. He's coming into the pits. Nimble is coming out. Chris is letting Apollo Pepsi past. Not quite the best position to do that there on the apex of turn 1. But Apollo Pepsi has got another chance to get another lap in. And Combined YouTuber is finishing a lap. He is, and that is gonna be P3 for him. 1 minute 18.2. Pencil is out on the track now as well. And Kaiser jumps up into P11 and he's gonna have another shot at his lap. He's 4 seconds off the pace at the moment, so of course that's not gonna be a real hot lap for him. And he's already much faster through the first sector. 21.8, so second up. So he's for sure gonna have a better time this time around. And Apollo Pepsi is gonna go into the pits, and he does. And he's not gonna make it out in time anymore, so that's gonna be his qualifying session. Bristol's on a hot lap. No, he's not. I think Rain is for sure though. He's in a hot lap ERS, so let's stay on board with him and jump to Pencil later. Yeah, Capales is actually doing really good. Thanks for pointing that out to me. He's been really improving, as Tom Yum says in the chat. And Rain running slightly wide in turn 9, but shouldn't really affect his exit too much. You can get away with running slightly offline there. Doesn't lose you as much time as on other corners if you will drive off the racing line. Or just completely miss your apex, as Rain just did that and went off the track. Let's jump to Pencil. Let's see where he is at. He is coming up to turn 9 now. Almost flat out. Not entirely. Into turn 10. A little bit wide, but you can get that time back from a good exit here. It's a pretty similar exit to China in the hairpin. If you run a little bit wide, you can just get a switchback line. So that's probably what he's been looking to do. As Pencil comes into the final chicane now. Really not taking as much curb as I thought people would do, but let's see what his time is going to be. A 1 minute 17.3. That's 6/10 quicker than his medium time, and he's probably going to look to improve a little bit on this, because there is for sure some time in this lap. As Dominator jumps up into P2, about a tenth behind Pencil. That's on his first lap of the session, so that's a good lap from him. Risto coming into the second sector now. As Nimble is gonna finish his lap up now as well. Here he goes. Checkered flag drops. Kaiser's the first one to cross it. As Nimble jumps to P3 now with a 1 minute 17.7. And Rain jumps into P4 as well. Is Pencil gonna have another look as Mutant jumps into P2 now? Nope, Pencil's not gonna improve on his time. He's out of fuel. And the real SD is probably done as well. I think at the moment Chris is the last person on a hot lap. Let's see how much he can improve on his P11. He's probably gonna look to improve on around a second on these tires, as he did his 1 minute 18.9 on the mediums, and he goes into P8, and the top 10 is within a second, top 11 even, so it's pretty close this season. That's good to see. Hopefully these guys can carry that momentum into the race. And Pencil is saying that he lost all concentration and was 5/10 up. But he is still on pole, so I think that he's gonna be happy with this anyway. So this is your starting grid for today. Pencil on pole position, 30 thousandths ahead of Mutant in P2. Then we got the green in P3, less than a tenth behind as well. So top 3 is really close, top 4 as well, Dominator P4, also less than a tenth behind. And then we got Rain in P5, and that's about a 3/10 gap from P4 to P5, still within 4/10 of pole. Then we've got Nimble in P6, Bristol P7, Chris P8, the Real SD P9, and then we have in P10 Capellet 6 in the Red Bull. So as I said at the start of qualifying, almost everyone has qualified on the softs, and I think they are gonna start on these tyres as well, even if they are outside of the top 10. Of course, the top 10 being locked into their qualifying tyres. So as usual, the drivers getting their final adjustments on their setups ready for this race. And then we are gonna get going for round 3 of the season, as we are gonna get the formation lap underway now. And you can see the starting tyres here. As I kind of predicted, at least one person is gonna attempt that super soft strategy, and that's Apollo Pepsi. I'm gonna quickly try to get the standings up for you guys so I can inform you about that. But everyone is starting on the softs except Apollo Pepsi, as I just mentioned, on the supers, and BRL Torpedo on the mediums, doing the reverse strategy probably. And there we go, results and standings. Let's get them loaded up, if my phone wants to work. So, Rain is leading the championship with 43 points, finishing second in round 1 and then P1 in Bahrain. Then we've got Pencil in P2, winning the first race and not starting the second with 25 points. Now Mutant also with 25 points. And then we've got Georgia Keefe in P4, Degree in P5, Chris in P6. And then we've got Nimble and Combined YouTube in P7 and P8. And then Combined YouTube's teammate Kaisa in P9. And then we've got Capelets in P10 with 8 points. And then outside of the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, we got the Real SD, Bristol, Alpha Blue, BRL Torpedo, Dominator, Apollo Pepsi, and Griffus, who hasn't attended the last race and is not here today as well. Constructors, let's get the top 3 up quickly. Force India is leading the way with 68 points, in front of Mercedes with 39, and then Red Bull with 26. And then outside of the top 3 we have Ferrari, Renault, Haas, Sauber, Toro Rosso, and McLaren, with Williams not having any drivers. So we are getting ready for round 3 of the SRL Asia Pacific F1 League. It's the first round of the European section of the calendar. So probably most of these guys are more familiar with this kind of circuit than probably the street circuits like in Australia. But here we go. We are building up the lights now. We have 5 red lights as Pencil gets away from pole position. And we are underway now, and that's a really good start from Pencil there. Not a great start from Mutant in P2, and he drops down to P3 already as Degree gets in front, and that's a Ferrari going off. That must be Bristol, and that's his front wing gone already as Degree goes around the outside of Mutant now. And Mutant goes back around the outside, and Degree was off, it looks like, but he's back on track as he was lagging. And everyone gets through turn 1 pretty okay, except for Bristol. And he's got wing damage, so he's gonna pit on the first lap already. As there's a lot of people going side by side now, especially in the back of the pack. And oh, there's a Renault going off. Who is that? That's Kaisa. So he's off the track. Ooh, almost collecting the McLaren there of Dominator, but just about getting through without collecting him. And I love this shot entering turn 9. And there's a car going off a little bit, and that is Capelets defending on the inside already from the Real SD, but the Real SD gets it done around the outside, making use of that mistake, and Combined YouTube having to jump on the brakes to not run into the back of Torpedo. And there's a lot of gravel flying in the air, but no one actually going off the circuit. So after the first lap, Pencil's out in front of Mutant, Degree now. Then in front of Mutant, Nimble, Rain, Chris, Apollo Pepsi. Then we got the Real SD and BRL Torpedo, and Combined YouTube in P10 as Dominator pits, and Bristol is gonna enter the pits as well. So unfortunate for these guys. as Chris runs a little bit wide, just like Rain just did a second ago as well. And Apollo Pepsi is getting really close to Chris now. On his super soft tyres, having a great start to this race. Already up 5 positions from where he started. So, so far he's really making his super soft strategy work. Let's see if he can do that for the entire race. Scapalace has dropped to the back as well. Don't know what happened to him. Ooh, Chris almost loses it, just about catches it. And the gaps are of course a little bit glitched. 1 minute 22.6 behind Chris is of course not true. These times are gonna sort themselves out in a minute. As Pencil sets the pace with a 1 minute 21.3. Ooh, Rain locking up a little bit. Ooh, come on, YouTube getting past the real Torpedo, sorry. Not the real SD. And he is passed into P9 now. So it's a good move from the Renault there. Torpedo slightly off the track as well. Probably giving too much space, being too nice to command YouTuber. As Capalace pits as well, so probably some wing damage for him. So, ooh my. I just got a heart attack there. That was about to be chaos there. But thankfully not. Nah. This little group at the front is being quite close. The grease lag is really frustrating me at the moment, gotta be honest. It's just really because you don't know where he's actually driving. He's just jumping back and forwards every time, and if he goes off the track then you're like, oh no, he's not off the track, it's just lag. So yeah, if I shout then that's probably due to him being laggy. As Apollo Pepsi's out of the race, let's see where that's at. And that is on the final corner, I believe, because Dominator is a lot behind and Kaiser is already in turn 1, so that must have been on the final corner that he just lost the rear end. And that's on his super soft tires, so yeah, maybe they've already started to overheat, and yeah, there you can see his car. So yeah, unfortunate result for him, out of the race already. As I think Mutant just got in front of Nimble. Not quite sure about that, but top 3 is pretty much unchanged since the exit of the first corner on the first lap. So here we go. I think we're gonna see the first DRS overtakes here. As Mutant goes around the outside of Degree. Degree comes back. And Mutant makes it so far. And he is in front for now. Degree still on the inside though. Still running side by side. And now Mutant is in front. So great move from him there. As Degree is looking to come back on the inside here for turn 4. Oh, there's a Haas going off in the background. That's probably Nimble. As Apollo Pepsi is out of the race, and the Greek gets back in front of Mutant, so really good defending from him there. Or back attacking him, should I say, as he did lose the position before. But yeah, Nimble losing a few positions there from that mistake in turn 4. And he's gonna look to make that undone by getting past Chris again as soon as possible. Ooh. Little tap on the rear end of Chris. As Mutant is still battling with Degree, so here he goes again. DRS open, Degree fully to the inside of the start-finish straight. And Mutant is gonna cover the inside back off, and he's in front now. So again, decent move from him. Combined YouTuber up the inside as well for turn 1, not making it. So he's gonna have to wait a little bit. These gaps are a lot closer than in the last race, so that's good to see. And you can see the cars behind each other are braking a lot later, so they close up a lot, but then they lose time again on the exit of the corner. So unless you are really close, you're not gonna make an overtake happen a lot, well, quite easily here. You have to do it in the braking zone, as Nimble is gonna attempt on the inside here of Chris. That's not the wrong, that's not the right camera angle, sorry. As he gets in front, no. Side by side, almost lost the back end there as well on the curb. And he gets pushed off a little bit there, but I think that's still within the regulations of clean racing. So Nimble is gonna have to try again. So here he goes. Onto the start-finish straight, DRS goes open, in front as well. Mutant and Degree. Oh, and we have a virtual safety car now. Don't know what that's for. I don't think there was anyone going off. Couple places there. Maybe Dominator spun or something, or hit the wall of a corner. I don't know what corner, but and he's retired as well. So yeah, that's his race over. Not too happy with whatever happened to him. And the virtual safety car is about to end. Of course, you don't want to speed under this virtual safety car. It happened to me as well in a league race, even though my delta was in green. So you have to watch out for that, to not be too aggressive or risk it too much on that delta, which none of these drivers have. So good job from them. And this virtual safety car has caused the gaps to be a little bit more spread out. Most of these guys are now outside of the 1 second range, so outside of the DRS as well. The only car within half a second is Nimble of Chris. So let's see what's gonna happen with these guys. And Chris defending the inside, so here goes Nimble. DRS open. He's gonna have to do it around the outside. That's gonna be a lot more difficult than the inside, but he's gonna make it work here. And that's a really good overtake there. Of course, Chris leaving enough room for him as well. So yeah, Nimble up into P5 now, trying to make that little mistake he made a few laps ago undone, and he's doing a good job so far. As Combined YouTube is also at the back of the real SD in the Sauer. Mutant with his time penalty, so that's the first one for him. As we have another migrating host. Is that Nimble? It's not Nimble. Who is it? It's not Pencil either. Oh, that's again the Red Bull of Degree lagging a little bit. But it's quite weird to see that we have a migrating host, but no one actually has disconnected because no one is ghosted. So it's a little bit strange, but yeah, I guess we'll find out in a minute as Nimble goes up the inside of who is it? It's Rain, and he made that position as well. So back up into P4 now. As the timing side getting a little bit glitched. That's not great to see. Oh dear. Yep, the timings are being glitched. Ooh, Rain almost loses it. We had this in the European F1 League on PC as well. We had this in Azerbaijan, and I was actually the lobby host back then, and my Steam disconnected. And when I went on to look at the stream, the entire timing screens were so bugged that I didn't even bother to make an official highlights for there. So I really hope that we don't have the same here, because that would really suck a lot. Not only for me as a streamer now, but also for the highlights being published later today as well. But the timings did sort themselves out for a minute a few seconds ago, but they're back to being glitched again. Bristol and Capelets are for sure at the back. That's a thing we know for sure. Well, I guess I'm just gonna try my best to cover this race with the information I have and what I know. As Rain is out now. Oh, yeah, he crashed there. Bristol's too far back, but he crashed at turn 6 or turn 7. One of the two. I think it's turn 7. The run up to turn 7 is where Rain crashed his Facindia out of the race. So that's not too great for his championship. I think there's another car off right there, or is there not? No. That's not true. But this DNF from Rain may have actually fixed the timing screens again. Because as far as I know, everyone is in the positions they actually are driving in, so that's good. As Kaiser comes into the pits now, getting rid of these softs, and he is going to go to the mediums. It's a little bit risky, but it is the earliest you are able to pit. It is going to be really close with the puncture at the end, but as long as he doesn't push these tires too much for the final 22 laps, then he should be alright. As everyone is with, well, outside of the 1 second range, so no DRS for any of these drivers at the moment. Except for Nimble, question mark. I mean, I don't know what the actual situation is for Degree with this connection. I mean, as far as I know, that no driver in the league has problems with Degree, and that it's only on the stream, so yeah, Nimble is inside the DRS for real, so yeah, we got our answer right there. As Command YouTube is also within a second now of Chris. Just got out of it again, but I think he is closing in on him. Well, Command YouTube back into the 1 second range. Sorry, not 1 minute. As Degree gets his first penalty as well. Oh, what's happening with these guys? Going side by side here. And Degree is going really slowly. So maybe his tires are just completely gone. That's the only thing I can imagine, because he's going really slowly through these corners. He's gonna pit as well, so that basically confirms my my guess, and he's gonna coming to the pits as well as the Mercedes of Chris. Trying to get onto those fresh tires earlier than combined YouTuber to hopefully pull a little bit of a gap. As combined YouTuber is continuing on his old tires, as Kaiser gets a penalty as well. Well, here comes Kaiser. Is that going to be any close with Chris? Nope, I don't think it's going to be. And it is not. Mutant is really closing in rapidly on Pencil now though. If both of these drivers pit now, then we might see Mutant getting in front just on the pit stops. Because if you had a car behind, or the car in front should I say, then you're gonna basically be held in the pits by the game. It's something in the game that if you are within 3.5 tenths of someone, then you are basically 99% likely to be held in the pits. So let's see what's gonna happen. Mutant is really close, outside 3.5 tenths though, so let's see what's gonna happen. Pencil exits the pits on the mediums, and Mutant is being held for this time, I believe, unless he's repairing a front wing. Yep, must be a wing replacement there. As he gets out quite far behind Pencil, I believe. Yeah. Losing a lot of time there, to my surprise. But if it was a wing indeed, then that explains a lot. But Pencil is going to retake the lead as soon as combined YouTuber pits, and that's probably going to be at the end of this lap. So there's two cars going side by side. Nimble and Degree back at it again. Degree is on tires that are up to temperature now, of course, so Nimble is a little bit on the back foot as Pencil gets a penalty now. But these pit stops have brought these guys back together a little bit. But it is about right about that wing replacement. Mutant was about half a second to a second behind Pencil. And the gap is now, let's check, compared to the leader. Pencil is 12.2 and Mutant is 21. So that's 9 seconds, about a second more than if you would actually have a wing replacement, because a wing replacement takes about 7 seconds. But it does look about right that he had to replace his wing. As combined YouTuber pits for a new set of softs, that's a bit strange, not gonna lie. I mean, 28 laps then, I mean 14, again 14 on the soft is gonna be 28, so he's probably gonna go to the supers at the end. But I don't know why he's doing that 2-stop. It must have been an error then that he selected the wrong tires, because I don't think that he is that stupid to do that. I mean, not that he's actually stupid, but like that. Sometimes people make mistakes, but people like combined YouTuber are not making those mistakes easily, so I don't think that yeah, it just must have been a mistake for him, because it makes no sense to do a 2-stop when you can clearly do a 1-stop. So yeah, that's a little bit strange, but we'll see what it gets him, if it's the right call or not. He just got held, no wing. Okay, but here goes Mutant up the inside of combined YouTuber there. Ooh, bit of contact there, but he gets in front, making up that time again. But thanks for that info, Rain, that he just got held. Let's get the backs, let's get the gaps, sorry, back to the interval, so we can see how close some drivers are to each other. And these guys are still battling. I think this has been going on for almost 10 laps now, Nimble and Degree. Of course, Degree is not great on maintaining tire temperature into his set, and he overheats them quite easily towards the end of the stint. So I think Nimble might as well just be like, look, if you're gonna overheat your tires, I might as well just stay behind and wait until that moment. As these guys are closing up to the back of BRL Torpedo now, who is still gonna have to pit. 15 laps on the mediums so far. I think he pitted on lap 1 actually. And there's yellow flags again in sector 2. Let's see who that is. Sector 2. I don't know. Where's that? No one's off here. I don't know who it is, but yeah, I guess whatever. Might still be from range crash there. Entering turn 7 as Degree goes really wide, trying to make a move on BRL Torpedo, and he's gonna have a dive up the inside here. Ooh, that's a really good move there, really surprising as well. And is Nimble gonna get through as well? No, he's not, and he actually damaged his wing there, I believe. Oh, that's all going off here. Look at this. Everyone getting bunched up because BRL Torpedo is on all tires. Is he gonna pit? No, he's gonna stay out. But I am pretty sure that Nimble got wing damage there. So yeah, kinda sucks for him there. Let's see, can I see wing damage here? Nope. But yeah, these guys are actually battling here. As Mutant gets in front of Chris now as well. And Torpedo is just dropping like a stone in this race at the moment. Of course, again, he's on all tires, but yeah, really being just a pain in the ass to these guys. I mean, he is allowed to be there. It's technically it is for position, so he's not gonna have to move out of the way. Although probably these guys would really want him to move out of the way, because he's just costing these guys so much time. But yeah, they just have to pass him for real. I wouldn't expect Torpedo to defend that hard though, so yeah, he's not gonna move out of the way, but he's not gonna fight it too hard, I think. But we'll see that in a minute, what he will do with combined YouTuber back in the back. So yeah, let's see, as Nimble is still within half a second of Degree. And Chris is staying on the back of Mutant as well, as combined YouTuber pulls out of the slipstream. And yeah, as I expected, Torpedo isn't really fighting that too hard, and combined YouTuber up into P6, trying to push as hard as possible to make his 2-stop work. Probably unintended 2-stop. And Pencil with another penalty, so that's 6 seconds for him, I believe now. I think he is far enough in front though, so it shouldn't be an issue for him. And combined YouTuber's gap is stuck, I believe now, so he's not actually 83 thousandths behind Chris, but he is getting quite close, of course, as you can see here. I think that gap is gonna sort itself out as well. But let's see what's gonna happen between Mutant and Nimble now. And here he goes. Quite an easy overtake there for Mutant, as my YouTuber is having a go on Chris as well, but not able to make it. Not close enough into turn 1. And you can just see the dirty effect of this game. As soon as you get overtaken, your car just gets a wall of dirty air thrown right on it. And you could just see that Nimble wasn't able to turn his car at all into turn 3. And if he's gonna be affected more by the dirty air, he's gonna have to look into his mirrors as well for Chris. But so far these guys are really doing a good job on putting on a show. The field is very close as well, so that's really nice. Well, is he gonna look for it? Oh, Chris is gonna do the dive. Bit of contact again. But I think it is allowed. And he's gonna look to do a switchback line here. Ooh. Oh, that's really aggressive there for Chris. But he gets in front of Nimble. And I don't think Nimble's actually gonna be too happy about that. Because, well, Nimble did go off the track by himself. But Chris completely took the racing line there. And basically didn't leave Nimble any room to come back onto the track normally. So yeah, I don't know, but we may see a few words of that after the race. As Nimble runs a little bit wide as well on the exit of turn 9, as he's under pressure from Combined YouTuber now. Combined YouTuber attempting the switchback line, and he's not close enough to do that for this corner. Of course, Combined YouTuber has been involved in a few incidents regarding resetting to track, retiring from the session and qualifying and all that stuff. So I think he's being a little bit more cautious as well. Because if you get too many penalty points, you're gonna get a qualifying ban or even a race ban. Or if you really mess your season up, you can either get banned from the season or from the league entirely. So yeah, probably that's what played part in his mind, to just be a little bit more careful. Let's actually check on how many penalty points Combined YouTuber is on the stewards panel, because I think it's quite good information for everyone to know. Because people won't see, of course, on the streams, because you can't see everything on the stream, but incidents still get reported after the race, and then someone gets a qualifying ban and it's like, oh, why is that? So I'm actually gonna look in the stewards panel for a second. I'm gonna hope I don't miss any action here. Of course, the stewards panel is not something drivers want to be dragged into. Let's see. Dangerous reset the track. That's 5 additional seconds for his race time in Bahrain. So that's 1 penalty point left until a qualifying ban for a Combined YouTuber. So yeah, good from him that he's being a little bit more cautious, but I will stop about penalty points now, because, well, it's really, not nice to talk about that, because, well, no one does that on purpose, of course, as Chris gets, no, he's staying in front of Nimble there. But with 10 laps to go, Pencil has got a really nice lead over Degree. Of course, both of these guys have penalties. I think both of them have 6. So, yeah, as long as Pencil doesn't make a mistake, he's for sure gonna get the win. And Degree is on for, I believe, his first podium of the season, actually. So, yeah, that's good for him. Good to see that so far luck is finally on his side. Of course, being quite unlucky in Bahrain, if I can remember correctly. Don't know exactly what happened to him, but I do know that he was in a good position and then something happened and he lost all of that points. Oh, Degree did get a podium in round 2. Then I think I got confused with round 1 because he DNF there, so that explains a lot. But combined YouTuber is really closing in a lot on Nimble now. Do take in mind that combined YouTuber's tires are for sure going off now as well. So he's probably gonna look to do 4 more laps on these tires and then could go to the super softs. I mean, he can't go to the softs again for sure because then he will be disqualified, but... Ooh, Pencil's pitting. What's that for? Why is Pencil pitting? Of course there's a penalty, but... Pencil is pitting for the softs for the final 8 laps. Okay. That's a bit weird, but okay, I guess. Combined YouTube actually got in front of Nimble now, while Spencer was in the pits. Well, let's see what his race time is gonna be, or his lap time on this lap. Then I'm gonna get my epic math skills out and count how far in front he was of Degree, because we couldn't see the gap because it said 1 lap or something behind Pencil, which is not true of course, so I'm gonna have to count that back a little bit. But I need to wait until Pencil crosses the line, as Combined YouTuber pulls off into the pits now. I mean, 7... well, technically 8 laps on the Supras is actually quite tough to do. I mean, Apollo Pepsi crashed out after lap 2 already, so he's going to the mediums. Okay. That's a really weird strategy, but okay, I guess. As he exits the pits in P7, and he might lose the position to BRL Torpedo behind as well. He's on warm tires, of course. But Pencil in front of Nimble now. Let's check what his lap time was. There he is, Pencil. Okay, 3 seconds. Then 16, 19 seconds in front now. Let's count. Leader, 19 seconds. So he was about 7-8 seconds in front of Degree. So let's see if he can make up 19 seconds in 6 laps. I mean, I don't think he can, but he might as well have pitted to either make more action of this race, even though there has been quite enough already in my opinion. It's been better than what it has been in past races or the past season. But yeah, the second option, or the second reason why he may have pitted, was because it's quicker, but I'll have to see for that. Don't think it is, but yeah. I mean, if Pencil is behind his decision, then that's good for him, I guess. I don't know. I'm just really confused why he pits for softs while he can easily run to the end, but... Shane, if you're gonna be a dick, then I'm gonna just block you from the channel. There's no reason to just swear like that in the chat. As Pencil gets in front of his teammate now. I'm sorry, but I just had to say that. That was just, yeah. Just pathetic from that guy in the chat, but... Pencil did set the fastest lap of the race a lap ago, by the way. Of course, we don't have an extra point for this league at the moment. Of course, the Real Life 2019 season has it, but we don't at the moment. But I think it will for sure be there for next season, season 9 on F1 2019. But Pencil has got a lot of work to do to get back into the lead of this race. I think he's just trying to win away. A guaranteed win. So yeah. I don't know why he did that, but yeah, enough about the confusion of why he pitted. Let's just focus on the race, even though there's not much action going on at the moment. But you know, at the end of the race, there's always gonna happen at least something, so let's just wait for whenever that moment is gonna be. But yeah, again, I do apologize about the comment I just made on that person in the chat. Probably shouldn't have given him any attention, to be honest. But oh, Pencil penalty again. So that's for sure gonna be a win thrown away. He did pull away a lot from his teammate though. Already 8.9 seconds in front. At least that's what it looks like on the stream. Or on the timing screen, should I say, not on the stream. Okay, let's count. About 4.5 seconds is the gap between Pencil and Chris, so that's half of the 9 it's showing on the timing, but 4.5 is still a lot in 2-3 laps. Mind YouTube with a penalty. I don't remember if Degree got any more penalties than his 6, I believe he had before. But if he does have more than 6, I think he might actually lose the win to Mutant. Because as far as I know, Mutant only has 1 penalty. So let's just actually look, because there's not much going on and I don't have anything to talk about at the moment. So let's have a look how many penalties Degree has. That's Mutant was 1, Degree 1. Degree with 2. Degree with 3, so that's 9 seconds for Degree already. 9 seconds compared to 3 of Mutant, so if it stays like this, Mutant is gonna pick up the win for this race, and Degree is gonna drop down to 2nd. What happened to Chris? He dropped back. Was behind Pencil, but now he's behind Nimble and the Real SD as well. I mean, he must have made a mistake. I don't see any wing end plates and elements on the right side of the wing. And it might be the camera angle, so let's just change that a little bit. Nope. Chris got wing damage. Oh. You're not gonna be happy about that, I think. I mean, Chris was actually in a pretty good position, but just a shame that he got wing damage there and lost another 2 positions. So yeah, unfortunate for him. And you can just see the understeer in the final corner. If you just lose a little bit of wing and you just lose so much downforce in these fast corners, especially on this circuit, because turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9 and 10 and the final corner are all high speed corners where you're gonna just understeer off. So he's probably gonna lose around 1 to 2 seconds, maybe even more per lap than with a normal functioning wing. So yeah, if losing 2 positions wasn't bad enough already, then that is for sure. Pencil is behind P1 now. What's happening? Is Degree... Yeah, Degree's tires are just gone. Degree's tires are absolutely dead now. Oh. That really sucks for him, because he was actually gonna take P2 in this race. As I almost dropped my phone. That's not really nice to do. But thankfully it didn't happen. But yeah, we are on the final lap of the race now. Pencil is putting Mutant under pressure, but I think Mutant is still gonna win the race because Pencil has more penalties. So Nimble is in P3, the real SD is in P4, and then Degree is exiting the pits now in P5, and he didn't change his tires. Okay, I just get really confused now. I don't know what's going on, but let's just skip over that. Combined YouTube is in P6, and Chris is in P7 at the moment, with BRL Torpedo less than a second behind him. Then we've got Kaiser, Ristel, and Capales. And he is actually behind these guys, battling. Mutant trying to hold off Pencil. Don't be stupid here, Capales, just stay behind. Now his tires are updated for Degree. Probably too much temperature into those tires again, but yeah, around the final corner comes Mutant to take the win in front of Pencil, and he's letting Capales pass for some reason, I don't know why, but yeah. Mutant with the win in Spain. And then Pencil in P2. And that's the first win for Mutant as well in this season, so congrats to him. Couldn't really find my word there, but in the end I did. Nimble takes P3 in front of the real SD. And then BRL Torpedo comes across the line in P5 with combined YouTube taking P6. And then Chris and Degree in P7 and P8. And then we have to wait a little bit longer for Kaiser and Ristel to cross the line. And Capales, of course, being lapped and finishing in P11 just outside of the points. So 2 points for Kaiser and 1 point for Ristel. And Kaiser has an unsolved stop go, but thankfully for him that won't be applied to his race time at the end due to the game finally fixing the penalty system regarding the stop and goes. But yeah, there you go, Mutant in P1, and I'm certainly really happy for him because Force India was my favorite team in 2018. So yeah, congrats to the podium. And it is indeed a big shame for Degree, he was doing really well. And he's for sure gonna look to improve on his tire temps because, well, he for sure got pace, but not the consistency in terms of tire temperatures. But this is the end result of this race. We got Mutant in P1 with a 3-second penalty. We got Pencil in P2, 9 seconds. 8.2 behind in the end. Then we got Nimble in P3 taking a podium as well. So yeah, great results for these guys. The Real SD taking P4, B-Roll Torpedo P5. And then we got Combined YouTuber and Chris in P6 and P7. Then we got Degree and Kaiser P8 and P9. And then we got Bristol running off the top 10, over a minute behind the lead. So I mean, he did make a 2-stop, as well as many others in the top 10, but he got involved in a lap 1 incident. So yeah, his race was already over after it even began. And then we have Capelez in P11, sadly for him not taking home a point. And then we got the DNFs of Rain, Dominator and Apollo Pepsi. So yeah, that's the end of this stream as well. I would really like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm saying I hope to see you, but I'm actually not certain if I can stream there because of school? Question mark? No, I think I should be able to stream next week as well, because we have school holidays actually. So yeah, if I am there, see you next week. If I'm not, then I'm gonna look for another commentator, but there are for sure gonna be streams next week. If it's not PC Asia Pacific, it's gonna be Europe and Asia Pacific on Xbox One, which is streamed on Twitch, by the way. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Tune into the PCF1 stream later tonight on twitch.tv/SupremeRLF1. I'm gonna type it in the chat now. Unlike last time, I forgot to do it. I'm gonna do it now. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.